Hello and welcome to Rise Unwind Orlando. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week, my friends and I talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
When I stop and think of my kids or my granddaughters going without food or supplies that they need to live throughout a year, that's how important it is. And they show their appreciation when you show up there, and it makes it all worthwhile.
Right, if you walk into a restroom and it smells bad, you're liable to turn around and walk right back out. That's happening in the workplace.
So symptoms and treatment options can really vary.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind Orlando.
Holiday shopping can be stressful, right? Between trying to find the best deals and guessing what your friends and family will actually like, it can be a lot. But now artificial intelligence is stepping in to make it easier. Here to explain how AI tools on Amazon are helping shoppers save time and money is smart shopping expert Trae Bodge. Hi, Trae. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Trae, AI seems to be everywhere these days. How is it changing the way people shop and helping them get ready for the holidays?
Well, it helps us save a lot of time and money and effort. So a good example of this is Rufus, their conversational shopping assistant. So you can ask Rufus almost anything about shopping. For example, you could say, I have a $500 budget split between my kids who are ages 5, 7, and 9. And Rufus will recommend age-appropriate products within your budget. You could even drill down into their interests and get more granular. So it's going to be a really helpful tool for shoppers this season.
What can shoppers do if they're looking for something specific that isn't available on Amazon?
Sure. So Amazon has a new feature called Buy for Me, and it allows you to explore products beyond Amazon without having to leave the platform. So you just search your terms, you'll get suggestions on Amazon branded items and third-party items, and then if the product is available elsewhere, it will let you know that as well.
Now, a lot of people are seeing items they like on Instagram or TikTok. How can AI help track those down?
Yeah, so sometimes it's hard when you see something online and you're like, I want that sweater, I want that TV, but you don't know where to buy it. So there's a feature called Amazon Lens, and it has something called Lens Live, which is brand new. You point the camera at the item, and then you'll be served up a swipeable carousel of product suggestions. And then Rufus, who we talked about before, will chime in with more information about those products. So it's a great way to get the items that you're coveting out there.
That is amazing. Now, how can AI tools make it easier to find gifts that really match someone's personality or their personal interests?
Yeah, so there's another feature on Amazon called Interests, and this can really drill down on a specific gift exploration. So if you have someone who's tough to buy for and they love cooking and innovative cooking tools and cookbooks, you can enter that into Interests, and Interests will proactively look for those items for you, let you know about new product drops, product availability, and even deals.
And for people who don't know much about a certain product category, how can AI help guide them towards the best option?
Yeah, so the AI shopping guides can inform you about a certain category. So if your teen son needs headphones, you know nothing about headphones, this is a great way to get up to speed on that category. It'll also make product suggestions. And then if you're on the go and don't have time to look for a screen, there's a feature called Hear the Highlights. And these are audio explanations that are conversational and fun about certain products that Amazon is testing on their app.
Before we wrap up today, where can our viewers go to learn more?
You can go to Amazon to check out all of these AI tools and try them out for yourself.
Trae, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, most of us notice when the air feels a little stuffy. But it's more than just annoying. A new survey shows that over 70% of workers avoid certain spaces because of bad air, and that matters during cold and flu season. Joining us is Brian Leafblad from Reckitt's Lysol Pro Solutions to explain why clean air is key to helping employees stay healthy and confident at work. Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start with the big picture. Why do you think air quality is such a big concern as we head into cold and flu season?
It's a big concern because it affects everybody, right? And it's one of those things that often gets missed or gets ignored. People tend to not think about it unless they're noticing a problem. And people are concerned, especially as more and more workers go back to work, as employers are wanting their employees to be there more days out of the week. People are concerned. Some 78% of respondents tell us in our surveys that they're concerned about the potential of illness-causing viruses like cold and flu and COVID-19 being in the air when they go to work, that therefore they could possibly get sick from breathing in that air. And if they do get sick, that absenteeism that's caused, people then having to stay home from work because they're sick, is a massive financial impact. According to CDC, it costs US businesses upwards of $225 billion every year because employees are out sick.
And the survey says that it found that most workers avoid areas that smell bad or like feel stuffy. How common is that, and what does that tell us?
Yeah, it's really common. And I think in a way we're kind of used to thinking about it in terms of bathrooms, right? If you walk into a restroom and it smells bad, you're able to turn around and walk right back out. That's happening in the workplace. Some 60% of people say that they refuse to use the restrooms at work because they smell bad. And even broader than just restrooms, think more shared spaces like conference rooms and meeting rooms. Some 70% of people are concerned about the air quality there. That if they walk into a meeting and the room smells bad, it smells musty, they're concerned about it. And then 3 out of 10 of them get up and leave. Even if they're in the middle of a meeting, if their smells bad and so they're concerned about it, they get up and walk right out.
And a lot of companies are still trying to get people back in the office. How can improving the air make that easier, or just make employees feel safer?
Right. I mean, with all of these folks that are understandably concerned, how do you get them back into work and get them back into work in a good place? And that comes with building the confidence and the trust that it's safe for them to come back to work. All of these people that tell us they're concerned, even more than that, some 4 out of 5, so 80% of people tell us that if they know their employer is doing something to actively sanitize the air, they feel more comfortable. They feel more confident coming back to work simply from knowing that their employer is doing something about the air quality to help make it better and help protect them.
And I think a lot of people also assume that if the air smells clean, it is clean. But why isn't that always true?
Right. It isn't true, partly because we don't actively smell viruses and bacteria. So trying to detect them by does it smell good? Does it not smell good? You're not really smelling the germs that could potentially be there anyway. So the fragrance, the scent, the air freshener that you're using, it'll smell good. It will improve that overall experience of being there, but it's not actually doing anything to kill any viruses or bacteria that are there. It's just there to cover up any smells. So it smells good. It doesn't provide any kill benefit. That's where you need a product that does actually kill germs in the air. It's specifically designed that way so that you're not just masking and covering up with fragrance. You're actually killing the germs that are there, and you're killing the bacteria that cause the malodors in the first place. So you are improving the smell in the area by eliminating malodors, but you're doing it by going to the root cause, which is killing the bacteria that produce them in the first place.
So what are some of the real solutions that handle both odor and germs that are in the air, especially in workplaces?
There's one solution out there, Lysol air sanitizer. It's the first and only product that is certified through EPA, where it's proven to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria in the air. It's built that way, it's designed that way, and it's proven to be effective. So if you use that product, according to the label instructions, you use it as intended, you can have the confidence that you're killing 99.9% of any germs, any viruses and bacteria that may be there. And then it also improves the odor, the smell in the room, because you're killing those odor-causing bacteria. You're removing the malodors that could potentially be there. So by using one product, you're getting the dual benefit: the confidence of killing viruses and bacteria, and the experience of improving the smell and the odor in the room.
And finally, where can people learn about improving air quality and keeping their offices healthy this season?
If you would like to learn more about this product, Lysol Air Sanitizer, or just more about killing germs in general, you can go to lysolprosolutions.com/air.
Brian, thanks for joining us today and teaching us that germs and bacteria are unscented. There you go.
Thank you for having me.
Hot flashes, sleepless nights, brain fog. You know, millions of women experience these symptoms during perimenopause and menopause. Yet, even though it affects nearly half the population, it's still something a lot of people don't talk about openly. You know, October is Menopause Awareness Month, and there are now more options than ever to help women feel like themselves again, including new hormone-free solutions that are available in stores. So joining us is Dr. Alyssa Dweck, Chief Medical Officer at Bonafide Health and a Menopause Society certified practitioner, here to help explain what's really happening during the transition and what can make a difference. Welcome to the show, Dr. Dweck. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Okay, for women beginning to experience symptoms of perimenopause, what is the most important thing they should know about what's happening to their bodies?
Well, first, let's define menopause, which means 12 consecutive months without menstruation. And the average age of menopause in the U.S. is 51 years old. Perimenopause are the 2 to 10 years leading up to menopause, and this is when hormone levels are really quite volatile and symptoms often appear.
And we hear about things like hot flashes and night sweats, and what are some of the other symptoms that could really affect day-to-day life?
Oh, wow. Well, there is a laundry list of symptoms, but I would say that hot flashes and night sweats, also called vasomotor symptoms, are iconic. And these can interfere with day-to-day comfort. They can interfere with work productivity, personal relationships, intimacy, disrupted sleep, which leads to mental fogginess and irritability during the day. And most of my patients tell me they're ill-prepared for these symptoms, and they often go unrecognized.
So when it comes to treatment options, what's the best way for women to decide between prescription and over-the-counter solutions?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because the menopause experience is really unique to each individual, so symptoms and treatment options can really vary. Of course, menopausal hormone therapy is the gold standard treatment, but not everybody wants to or is able to take hormones. So there are other non-hormonal drugs available by prescription, and there are also non-prescription, over-the-counter, and well-studied dietary supplements, such as those from Bonafide, which are available not only online, but throughout 1,800 Target stores in the country, and they have been studied for safety and efficacy for these symptoms. So there is no one-size-fits-all.
And Bonafide Health just made some of its menopause products available in Target stores nationwide. How does that help make care even more accessible?
Well, look, oftentimes women are doing their research and deep dive into the menopause syndrome online or through social media, but there's nothing like going into a store and being able to touch, see, and feel things that are targeted towards specific symptoms and decide if that might be right for them.
And finally, for anyone watching who wants to learn more or maybe even find resources, where's the best place to start?
Please visit our website at hellobonafide.com, full of medically vetted menopause information and information on perimenopause and, of course, on our clinical studies.
Dr. Dweck, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Ever wonder what it takes to drive a massive truck across a sheet of ice? Knowing one wrong move could mean disaster. The hit History Channel series Ice Road Truckers has returned with its most intense season yet. Higher stakes, deadlier conditions, and shorter windows to deliver life-saving supplies to some of the most remote communities on Earth. Joining me is a fan favorite and veteran trucker, Todd Dewey, who's back behind the wheel for season 12. Welcome to the show, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm actually standing on solid ground right now, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
All right, there you go. For those of us, or for those out there who haven't seen it, what do you think makes ice road trucking such a dangerous and vital job?
Oh my gosh. Well, you hit it all when you explained it right off the get-go and letting them know who you were going to be talking to. It starts out from day one and it don't stop until the season's actually over with and you're on a plane flying home. I mean, what it takes to be an ice road trucker is a whole lot of crazy and a lot of trucking skills and a lot of years behind the wheel. That's what it honestly takes. And, we go up there and fight Mother Nature like nobody's business, from snowstorms to thin ice to losing your loads to truck breakdowns. And there's some things that happened this season. I know that we've had lots of other seasons and lots of things have happened, but I don't know why or for what reason, but things happen on this season that have never happened before. We had trailers going losing oversized loads. Some of the worst weather conditions I think we've ever been faced with up there, including very thin ice due to climate change, and a very short window to go get a lot of loads in these communities. And what people don't understand is they're like, well, you're just driving down the road and just delivering a load. It's not like that. It's what we got to go through to get these loads into the community. Some people say, well, why is it worth it? Why do you want to go out there and risk your life? And just to drive on an ice road and drive across the ice. Well, I tell you what, when you battle Mother Nature the way we got to battle it, and you get that load into the community, and these communities come out, and it's like Christmas time to them, and the little kids come up and they give you a hug, and they're so excited to be getting their new bike, maybe that's in their load of supplies, or their food that they need for the remainder of the year after the ice roads, when they all melt and they go away, that's the only access they have to get these supplies. So when I stop and think of my kids or my granddaughters going without food or supplies that they need to live throughout a year, that's how important it is. And they show their appreciation when you show up there, and it makes it all worthwhile.
And you face some brutal hauls. What's the toughest one that sticks with you?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many over the hauls. I can't give any away this year. You're going to have to put your seatbelt on and buckle up and watch a show and go for a crazy ride of this. But there has been so many. There's been so many times that I think I broke a couple records over the years for some of the heaviest hauls on the ice, and there's been a lot of situations. There's been a lot of scary moments. Let's put it that way.
And season 12, it marks really a big return after a long hiatus. What's it been like getting back on the ice kind of this time around?
Oh, I was nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. After having 8 years off and spending and doing a little family time and doing some graduations with my daughters and getting my new grandbabies and doing all that, and then getting the call to go back up after 8 years of not being on the ice, I was nervous. I'm not going to sit here and BS you. I was like, oh my gosh, because then you get flooded with all those emotions of knowing what's about to happen, how thin the ice can get, Mother Nature, the snowstorms you're going to get yourself into. Am I going to be able to get these loads? And do I still have what it takes to be an ice road trucker? And so the first couple of 2-3 runs up there, I was nervous like nobody's business, thinking, oh my, because it just flooded me with emotions. The second I hit that first ice road, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm here and doing this again. So it was quite the adventure, and this is definitely one season you are not going to want to miss.
And this season, we're seeing some veterans and rookies out there. How do the new drivers handle the pressure compared to some of the seasoned pros like you?
I don't know. I've been with a couple new seasoned drivers that have been up there over the years of ice road trucking, and of course, I don't ever leave a driver behind. If I'm with somebody and they're new and they don't know, they're in a situation where they don't know what to do or how to get out of it or how to fix their truck, I'm not going to leave them. I'm going to stay there and help them until we get everybody safe and we're back up and rolling and get out of Mother Nature's elements and get back to rolling. But as far as the new guys this year, I didn't get a lot of trucking time with them. I know that they were nervous. I did talk to them on the side a little bit. And when we were back in getting loads, they're like, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected. I didn't think the roads were going to be this brutal. I didn't think Mother Nature was going to be this brutal. And it's like, I asked them the question, well, what do you think about coming back for another season? If the Muskie Creek asks you to come back and be another driver again this next year, they're like, oh man, I'm going to have to think about it, because it's that brutal. I mean, these road conditions put you through things you never think your body or physically and emotionally that you'd ever be put through. It's pretty amazing.
And beyond the danger and the paychecks, what's the real reward that's keeping you back hitting the road over and over again?
Getting those loads to the communities, those hugs and those hot plate of food after battling and putting your body and getting those loads in the community from Mother Nature and battling those ice roads. When you see the smiles on those families' faces and the way they came up and they give you a hug, and it's not just like a hug like, oh, no, it's a hug like you can tell the appreciation in it. And they kiss you on the cheek or whatever they do, and they just look at you in the eyes and say, thank you. We needed this. That's what being an ice road trucker is about, and that's why I love doing it so much.
Do the words global warming scare you?
Oh, absolutely. It scares me because of the fact of it almost feels like there's going to come a time to where those communities can't get their supplies that they need to survive and take care of their families, and that is definitely very scary.
Todd, I want to thank you for joining me today. You can watch Todd and the rest of the Fearless crew now on Ice Road Trucker Season 12, airing Wednesday nights on History Channel and streaming the next day at history.com/Ice Road Truckers. Hey, Todd, thanks for joining me today.
You betcha. Hey, stay safe out there and buckle up for the first episode. You're going to need it.
I've been a fan of our next guest for many, 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 many years. And it's not just the music. I love the clever way he tells stories through his songs. Now, he's kind of bringing that sharp writing to the Peanuts gang in Snoopy Presents a Summer Musical, the first Peanuts musical in over 30 years. He's the Emmy-nominated composer and producer behind the special, and he joins us today. Let's welcome Mr. Ben Folds. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Thank you. Good to be here.
All right, so this is the first Peanuts musical in 35 years. What excited you most about being part of such a milestone project?
Well, I mean, I love being able to write inside a character. I love that it doesn't have to be me. and because that's what I normally do. But I really see enough of myself in Charlie Brown, and that's the voice that I was writing for in this. I wrote the 3 Charlie Brown songs essentially, and yeah, I mean, what's exciting to me is just to have a world and an inspiration that's thoughtful to sit inside, and you know, the Peanuts is a thoughtful and I won't say slow, but it's not, you know, it's not such an incredibly caffeinated world, you know.
And the story, it captures the magic of summer camp and you know, friendships that come with it. How did you approach writing songs that fit into that world?
Well, they're very grown-up thoughts. You know, the first song I pick up writing the songs from the 3rd song out, and that finds Charlie Brown in quite a hole. He's bummed because camp is going to be no more. They're going to mow it down so they can put some malls up, and he's coming to grips with that. So, I mean, anything that is, you know, rather disappointing or sentimental, he's reflecting on all that was before, how much time had been spent by so many generations before. He's mature enough to get and really understand it. And he's also mature enough to think about how he will see things when he's 50, 60 years old. So that's what I put in the song. I just allowed him to be everywhere from 10 to 60 years old inside the song. I mean, that's some freedom, you know.
Well, he is the first kid that does have a pretty solid midlife crisis constantly, so I do like that.
Completely. That's exactly him. Yeah.
And you've had such a wide career from performing and touring and producing. How different was it creating music for these like iconic characters?
You know, I grew up with it, so it's like creating for me. You know, like it's creating for me without having to be completely my story. And you know, I've made a lot of albums, and they're generally about me.
Yeah.
So it's great. You know, it's like using the chops that you get by writing a lot of songs, but also I was able to be inspired by it because I was inspired by the story. And I know that kids think about things very deeply because I know that I did, and you know that you did, you know, and when we give them something to think about, you know, it don't write down to them. And that was a great, you know, that's a great part of it. You don't always remember not to write down to people. If you're writing, you know, like kind of more broader pop sense, I don't know if it's quite as clear that your audience is always as intelligent. But with kids, my assumption is they understand everything.
I kind of feel that too. How much pressure is there for writing for such a major project and iconic character? Is there a lot of pressure there?
I didn't find it pressuresome, really. I found it easier because everything is excellent. The story is excellent. The animation is gorgeous. It's a world that we all know. There's no question about where you are. So I would find it pressuresome if I had to orient myself into a world that I didn't understand. And I might have to go back to the writers and say, what the hell does this mean? But that wasn't the case with this. This was like everyone was on the same page, and the page was initially, you know, the architect was Charles Schultz, and it was a brilliant piece of art that keeps making itself again, you know. So
I think you're the perfect pick for this story. So thank you very much for being part of that. You can catch Snoopy Presents, a summer musical, streaming now on Apple TV Plus. Gather the family, grab some popcorn, and sing along with Snoopy and the gang. Ben Folds, thanks for joining me with this morning.
thank you.
Do you ever wonder what it really takes to earn one of the most iconic uniforms in sports? I would love one, but I wouldn't look good in it. Season 2 of America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, just dropped on Netflix, and it gives us an all-access pass to the high-pressure world of DCC auditions, training camp, and the life under those stadium lights. So joining us today is longtime DCC director Kelly Finglass, along with current squad members Jada McLean and Reese Weaver, here with a sneak peek behind the pom-poms. Welcome to the show, you three. How are you?
Good morning.
Great.
All right. This new season really takes viewers deeper than it has ever done before. What made you want to tell more of the story this time around, Kelly?
Well, there's just, it's a beautiful story. It's beautiful people, and I've always been very, very proud of the dance and performance achievements of the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, but Netflix has now put a new lens on the cheerleaders as individuals, and you get to see this beautiful, complex life of Jada, and you see Reese's personal story, getting married, and her experiences with being a new bride. It's just it's captivating, and they're all someone that different people can relate to and be inspired from.
Jada and Reese, what was it like to have cameras following you along your journey? I have a hard time with the ones that are in this room. Did did anything surprise you about like watching it back after everything?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't too surprised just because, for one, we lived it. But I think we have a great camera team. I think they do their best to just be there. They don't really, force anything. They don't try to get in the middle of, anything going on. They kind of just hang around and film. So everything is very authentic, and it is really how it, was lived out. They're just there to capture it.
The show really captures how intense the training process is. What kind of pressure do you guys as dancers face both physically and emotionally?
I think, as dancers, we, from a very young age, we're constantly looking at ourselves in the mirror, and we're trying to learn technique and moves and all sorts of things in the mirror. And I think that can sometimes negatively have an effect on dancers as they grow older with comparison or wanting to have certain strengths that other girls have. But I think that for us, we all know that we are cream of the crop, and we do our best in everything that we do, but we also push ourselves. And so I'm just really grateful for the sisterhood that we have, and that camaraderie of making sure that we're the best in all that we do.
And you get to see a lot of sisterhood and personal growth this season. How has being part of the DCC changed your lives beyond the field?
Yeah, I've met some of my best friends on this team, and truly they've shaped me. They've taught me a lot about myself. They've taught me a lot about, being a good friend, being a good teammate, and being a good human being. So I'm grateful for these women. They are a lot more beautiful on the inside than they are on the outside. I know that's probably hard to believe, but I think they are amazing individuals, and I'm just so grateful to be surrounded by people like them.
I want to thank you three for joining me this morning. If you love football, dance, or just that great underdog story, check out America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, now streaming on Netflix. Thank you three for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
And that's it for Rise Unwind Orlando. Want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, go to our website, riseunwindtv.com. Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. And also follow our YouTube channel. That's at Rise Unwind. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.
One, two, three. Streets are awash with the blood of the angels. Somewhere a voice is calling.